Hey, welcome back to Funsie, everybody. We've got an exciting episode
We're
planned for
so
you
excited.
guys. As in, it's not planned, and that's why it's gonna be a funsie. If everyone's catching my drift, um, we'll start it off the regular way. How's everyone's week been? What's up with you guys, Ben and Sacco?
Ben, you better answer first, so help me.
What did I do this weekend? I team challenge, team Maple Hill Diamonds,
That's right, I forgot that started.
and I
So
aced.
you guys have talked about Team Challenge so many times, and I still have no clue what it is. Just so everyone's clear.
Well,
Okay, let
it's
us
the greatest
reiterate
thing
then.
of all time, and you're missing out. Um, do you want me to explain it?
Yeah, or I
Yeah,
can,
explain it
either
really
way.
quick. I'm interested.
Okay. So yeah, we'll do a 1-2 combo punch, Sacco. Whenever I stop explaining, then you can take up from there.
Dude, let's get it.
So team challenges.
You're gonna do that when I'm taking a sip of
All right.
seltzer? Thanks,
Team
man.
challenge is in the winter since it gets cold up here. Each course has their own home team. You get recruited, whatever, and it's a big deal. And it's just like the Warriors facing the Celtics, the Patriots facing the Jets. Same thing. It like team wise, it's like a sport. It's like a game. So
Yeah, it brings a team aspect to disc golf.
yes.
There are different tiers, essentially, for like level of team. So there are people that take it very serious, and they when they go up against each other, and then there's more so like lower tier ones where maybe just about like getting out, and they still all follow the same rules for the event, but maybe it's just more about like getting together and not as much about like, hey, let's try to beat these guys, that sort of deal.
Well,
Uh,
here's the thing. Your team.
Which teams are you guys on?
I'm on Maple Hill Diamonds. Sacco's on Dragonfly, I think.
I am not on a team this year. I
Too busy.
enjoyed it very much last year, but sometimes I would be playing. Okay, yeah. First, hold on before I talk about my experience. Let's finish our thought on team challenge.
Sorry,
So
my bad.
no, you're good. So the two teams that there's usually like 8-ish matches throughout the entire season. It's usually
One a
during the
month,
off season.
basically.
Usually during the off season of disc golf, and roughly like half of those are at your home course, and then half of those are at away courses. And whoever is playing at home, they are hosting the opposing team, so they will make food and provide drink for the opposing team.
Dude,
So,
this sounds like a freaking blast, man. I
dude,
want
it
Texas
is.
people to
It
do
is.
this.
I am not a tournament boy, obviously, and this is a good time. So yeah, first round is match play. So you do that, and then at halftime, you guys eat, drink, do whatever, and then after that, second round is stroke play, right, Ben? Or no, doubles. Am I
Yes.
wrong?
Yeah,
Okay,
sorry. Keep going.
cool.
Sorry. Something on my end, I'm like hearing a noise, which is weird.
Okay. Yeah. So you do that, and it really is a good time. But yeah, anyways, the reason that I'm not doing it, it's a lot of fun, but it's kind of the same reason that I don't compete. You are sacrificing an entire day off, kind of.
Oh,
So
it takes a whole day.
yeah,
Yeah.
usually it takes a good amount of time, and
It's singles in the morning. It's match play. You face your singles opponent in the morning. If you win, you get a point, and then doubles is stroke play. If you win your matchup, you get a point, and that's how points are decided.
Not on a weekday though, right? It's
No.
always on
Saturday.
like a Saturday or
Saturday,
Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah.
yep.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun, but yeah, it's just hard for me to sacrifice an entire day for that. Where I was like, this is fun and all, but I could just be like hanging out with like all my friends right now, just like throwing multiple, yeah, like my wife throwing multiple shots, doing whatever. But I definitely get why anyone would do it. It's a good time.
No, yeah, that sounds pretty awesome, especially if like you have your best buddies on your team already.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so like maybe in the situation where you're like, oh, I'd rather just play with my friends. Maybe you figure out a way to just get your friends on your team, and then boom,
Yeah,
double
that would
double
help for
trouble.
sure. That would help for sure. Yeah, as you get more serious, you have to like try out for some of these teams.
That's crazy.
And Yeah, it's.
So
I think it's unique to New
Was
England,
was
right?
was yours hard, Ben? Like, did they recruit you? Did you have to try out? How did it work for you?
uh little both. It wasn't like recruiting. I wasn't that great. I'm not like nasty, but it was just like, hey, like, come try out for Diamond. We'd love to have you. And I pretty much, once I tried out, I pretty much had the spot. They just liked me. But the thing is, what I want to point out is if you form a new team, you start in the play-in pool, and you have to win your division to move up. So there's all the way from A pool to F pool, and then there's play-in pool below F pool. So that's what Sajko says. The people that take it serious is because the people in A pool had to win their league 5-6 times to get to A pool, and that's why it's the most legit.
Yeah,
so,
and that's 5 or 6 years, right?
Correct.
Once a
So
year.
you move up one division, and you have to win or come in second. And there's like normally like 8 to 10 teams. So if you're not first or second, you don't move up. So some teams
Is this for money or
Yeah.
just camaraderie?
camaraderie.
Yeah, pretty much. But you have like Simon Lizotte and Casey White that are
Yeah,
playing
Simon was on Buff
teams
last
as well.
year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Simon was on a team?
Yeah.
Is he doing it again this year?
Oh, Jay Millie. So I filmed for Simon. He did a vlog about Team Challenge of him playing on it. So go watch that. It's like finally back to playing competitive disc golf.
I think I watched that video, but
Yeah.
I was just, I didn't understand how Team Challenge work. I just watched him play,
Dude, now you know.
Yeah, that's sick. That's really fun. I would love to get something rolling like that here in Texas.
Yeah,
Granted,
how'd
I
you
probably
do?
wouldn't have the time for it anyways. So
BB Owen versus Autobahn.
there we go, dude. Both horrible courses.
What? Really?
I actually I've never played BBON, and
I've
I
never
played
either.
Audubon a few times, and it's fine. That's actually where my wife and I got engaged. But
Oh, that was the one.
So
Okay.
what's a
yeah. Ayo. To you guys,
Audubon.
it sounds like nothing happened, but to us, we just had about a 25-minute intermission. So, yeah, lots of fun. But to get back to what we were talking about, Team Challenge, and something special happened at Team Challenge this week for one of our favorite Funsie cast members. And what was that?
Are you talking about me win my ace?
Oh, that was during Team Challenge? That's filthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was talking about you with your ace.
So let me
Yeah, set the scene for us. Yeah.
So hole
Tell us about
9.
the shoes you were wearing as well, please.
Yeah, I
And
was so
explain that.
confused. I thought, yeah, I'll say. So Jamie Lee commented on my shoes saying, "What are you wearing?" And I was confused. I thought he was saying it because it's like a Vessi competitor. I thought he was like a allegiant to Vessi. Like anyone else is not wearing Vessi. It's trash.
Disgusting.
So I was like, but yeah, no, they're Vivo Barefoots and they're funky, but I love them. Anyway, so
They were Vivo Barefoots that are like orange bottom
in
sole
camo.
and then like
They're the Hydra.
camo.
Hydra. Eagle
Camo.
wears them. I am Eagle McMahon. So hole 9 at Maple Hill. Do you guys know the diamonds? The diamonds hole 9. It's over the hill, par 4. After
Yes.
hole 8, the water hole. Anyway, so I teed off that hole, but instead of going long, there's a basket before the hill crest up to the left. That's white. We were playing white, and I threw the shot, and I'm like, all right, that's pretty good. And then with my mouth, I go, ching. Just kidding, like just joking, because I thought it was pretty good. But anyways, we're like, whatever. That's either really long or good. We start walking up. My teammate, my opponent is match play, so he has to basically get a par. If I get a par and he gets a par, no points, we push. But if I get a birdie, he gets a par, I get a point. So my teammate is far back, and he's trying to lay up for the par, trying to get to the par, because I'm thinking to myself, oh, I'm going to need to lay up and get a par too because I went super long. He's like, takes like, his 30 seconds, lays up, and then we start walking towards the basket. And in my head, because there's people ahead of us, I'm like, who left their disc in the basket? Like, are you kidding me? Like, how do you do that? And then I keep walking towards it, and then I'm like, wait, I threw that colored disc, and I was like, and then I pointed out like, yo, I think I just aced. And then I was like, wait, what? No way. None of us saw it. None of us knew. It didn't make a sound. And the ching I said was just a joke, but it didn't make a sound. It must have just like, either we didn't hear it because I was too loud, or it must have just dunked in the basket somehow.
How far is that hole?
Yeah, like 270 or something, but like kind of uphillish.
Uphill, yeah, something like that. It's a good.
And it's blind. It's blind off the tee.
Yeah.
And it's
Dang,
pretty tight
dude.
off the gap. So yeah, felt good. I'm on
And that was a cash.
roll. Yeah, definitely.
Dang. Yeah,
No, it wasn't. It was
pretty
a
filthy.
It was a con. Sorry, Garrett.
Con.
Lies.
So P3X. Innova made
Innov-
P3X.
Yeah.
That Haley King won DDO.
A cash.
Literally, yes.
Yeah.
Literally a cash. Correct. But the cash is
Cheater.
the cash is more stable. So that's why I needed something that would.
Oh, interesting.
Have you thrown the cash yet?
Yeah, it's in my bag. I might throw the cash more than you, dog.
So no, that's
I don't
not
know,
true.
man.
I throw the cash. I have it in my bag. So my cash that I bag is a flippy cash. So I throw it for flip ups. That hole, I needed like a little straighter bite. If I had a new cash in my bag, it's basically like a zone. It wouldn't have got to the basket. So that's why I went for the P3X as opposed to the cash, because my cash is so beat in that I use it for my flip up straight, and then what is it? Not fade, like kind of just like go to the right, kind of.
Sennheiser?
Yeah, but then it flips up and then goes right, type of thing. So that's what I use it for.
The con is not stock at this point, right?
No,
Like, wasn't it just the one Haley King run, like, because she won?
Yeah.
And then they're just like, cool, that's it. No one else wants this. And it's like, I think quite a few people want that.
yeah, and then and it was just never made again.
Cool.
All right.
So yeah,
Well-
team challenge, you killed it.
Thank you.
Great job. Did you end up winning? Yes?
Yes, Diamonds.
Good job.
We've won 10 in a row. So, and I won my 2
Yo.
matches, which was nice. Which is always
Fire. All right. What's up with you, Sajko? What's up with you?
What is up with me? I got to go, well, not really disc golf related. I went to my buddy's wedding up in New Hampshire, which was cool, but because
Why was
we
I
stayed
not
up there.
invited?
Because we stayed up there, we're like, yo, we got to hit a local course. So we went to the Hollows in Manchester, New Hampshire, which is, we went to the Hollows North because there is North and South, 2 different courses, both designed by Eric McCabe. And I mean, the course is so good.
Big
I've never really explored New Hampshire disc golf for whatever reason. I know there's like a lot of really good ones. That one somehow is not even in the top 5 of all the New Hampshire courses.
Really? I thought the
yeah.
house was pretty popular. They have an A tier there that some pros go to every year. GT Hancock from Hooligan Disc just won. Shout out Hooligan Disc, best company ever.
Dang. Yeah, you're just backpedaling. Yeah, the
What are you
Hollows.
talking about?
The Hollows. I'm sure a bunch of New England listeners have been there, but if you haven't, yeah, please go play it. I mean, there are a couple
I've never
holes
been
where
there.
you're like, really? I found
Yeah.
that very surprising.
I've played like 2 courses in New Hampshire.
Oh, okay.
I'm a
Yeah,
Massachusetts or die type of guy, you know?
all right. Fair enough. But yeah, I would go check that out, I suppose. South I've played before. It's okay, I guess, but probably, yeah, just go play North. But I mean, that's really it. Just keep doing the dang thing. Not really too much free time other than just like same thing every week, doing like the another round stuff, doing my stuff, and then when I'm not, it's like hanging out with Kiara. Like, oh, I can go finally throw a frisbee. Yeah, not really like the most exciting answer, but there are a bunch of exciting things coming up. Just not things that I can
Tell us about
unfortunately
it.
talk about.
Let's make this a sack episode. Tell us about your life. Whatever we were talking
About
about
my life.
off air,
I
whatever
saw
you can
see
share.
something. I
Yeah.
don't know if you can talk about it, but I saw maybe that there was some discs coming at some point.
Yeah, what was that? You're gonna sell your inventory, or you're gonna get some new tour series?
Oh, it was that vague? It was just
It's
a
so
joke
vague.
being like, oh, okay. It was just like I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna like sell some discs coming up soon if people want them. That's not like me opening up a storefront. It's just like I like trying out discs, and I have like a lot at this point, and I'm like I just want to get rid of some. That's really
Oh,
it. Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be a Sajko stamp through another round. I got really hyped.
No, dude.
Why don't you do
I,
that, bro? What the heck?
Well, I need to contact the correct people. And it is funny that you bring it up because I was thinking about it today. This is me just speaking openly, I guess. Nothing behind the scenes. I was like, do I do a disc? Do I do a shirt? Do I do a hat?
Disc or hat.
Yeah. So I was kind of like deciding. It's pretty much just me like committing to it and asking. I just haven't actually asked yet. That's really it. I mean,
What,
all the pieces are there.
What disc would you do, or company? I guess I don't know. What would you want to do?
Z-Blend Nebula.
I think it could be cool to do something with someone like Hooli, but I don't know what the mold would actually end up being.
They just released Yeets. If you want to do a
Dude.
spoony sacky Yeet.
No, I'm not just following in your footsteps, dude.
Do
Like you've done that.
I have do a cash. I mean, do you throw the cash?
I love the cash. I throw it all the time. I throw it so much that mine is like really straight at this point, and I think I have to put a new one in the bag.
Like a con or something.
Yeah.
So that's the
actually
thing. We're the
exactly.
opposite, Sajko. I like my cash to be straight. You like it stable.
Yeah,
I
well,
just like
that's what
mine
I have
straight.
it. I have it in that slot for that reason. Just like throwing like baby flexes, or even sometimes like little sidearm, just like bop. One of those guys. You know what that means? Bop. Yep. Audio listeners, you're welcome.
Bup.
Dude, I do feel like I just said dude back to back twice. I do feel like that a Hooli disc would be perfect for like, what's up, nerds? I'm about to yeet this disc.
That is true.
I
Yeah,
feel like
the
that's
marketing
perfect vibe.
marketing that I could do would go crazy on that. I bet it would be a fun video to make.
So
Yeah.
I've always thought about doing a Yeet, but the stamp would be a skirt.
Yeet. Skirt.
Skirt.
Oh,
Yeet.
okay.
Skirt.
I got
And
you.
it'd either be a woman's skirt or the word skirt. Skirt.
Not a woman's skirt.
Not a woman's skirt. No.
Yeah, we're just gonna end that there.
No, like
Yeah.
no, like it would just
No,
be a
I get-
skirt. It wouldn't be like a woman on it. It would just be
No,
like
no,
the
I know-
fabric
I know.
of clothing.
No,
Yeah,
I
I still
understand.
no.
Yeah,
Okay.
No.
I actually, here's the thing. It was always gonna be the word skirt, but I just thought about the woman's skirt on right this second. So I just put it out there, and the shark said no. So
But yeah,
Sharks
in
don't
terms of you guys, I always appreciate that you guys try to like hype up me working on my personal brand, and
we love
the things that I'm like always thinking about. But I mean, even like finally
Dude,
upgrading the iPhone,
Yes,
like
sir.
that's like a big thing that will help me going forward. But yeah, I should. Ooh,
pixel all the way. Oh, so many notifications. Don't
So-
wanna show that.
I don't know. Maybe after this, maybe I'll contact the correct people, and it's the exact type of thing where I'm like, I don't think would people buy that? But then I think I would be
I'd
surprised.
buy all of them. I'd buy out the whole stock.
So here's the thing.
support
Like
you.
people would buy it to support you. Jay Millie, don't wear his hat. Just don't. I bought it to
Okay.
support him. It's actually
you.
You don't
Thank
wear
you.
it?
I have it right here.
Dude, I was
Like, it's
repping
just-
the
it-
Jay
it just-
Millie.
it's just
I was
ready.
repping the
Go
Jay Millie
hat.
shirt down at USDGC at one point.
Yes.
I think I should have
Thank
got a
you.
shirt. I would have worn the shirt more. Now that I kind of wish I got the shirt. I just bought the hat because I thought it looked sick. But then all my hats I wear now are just hooligan and disc golf expos. So it's just like, you know, I got
That's valid. I respect it, Ben. I respect
Thank you.
it.
And starting to wear this hat. Shout out Rickson.
Ooh.
That one
They
is
just-
clean.
They just gave me this one.
Yeah, so Ben, so off air in that 25-minute gap, I think we
Oh,
roughly
yes.
talked about uh, Ben perhaps talking a little bit more about like expo related stuff, because there's a lot of business involved with something like
Yeah.
that. And that is something that I've learned a lot over the time of me doing this stuff, but it's definitely the weakest point, I would say, of like things that I do. Even like communicating and talking with people before, I mentioned I'm like, yeah, I kind of keep to myself. I openly just like force myself to go talk with people now. And now I'm just like, it's pretty easy. It
It's
really is
so
not that big of a
easy.
deal. It's just getting over the hump that you create for yourself.
Well,
Yeah.
it's always so I'm the same way, especially in business. You want to hear business talk? This is in the mind of me. One, when you're like trying to make like business deals and stuff like that, like you think the worst things are gonna happen when you ask this person like would you want to sponsor this or like something like that. You think they're gonna be like, are you an idiot? Like these things go in your head, and then you have and then you dread the conversation, and then maybe you push it off, and then you finally have the conversation, and it's like, oh yeah, that'd be super cool, and, and then I'm like, dude, I'm just overthinking it. But it's just like it's especially when it comes to business stuff like that, it's always pretty gray, like a gray area, because it's just like, it's just like in business, one person normally does one thing for another thing, so like that is always tricky to balance, and you never want to let anyone down. You want to give them what they're expecting and what they're worth, whether that's disc. Like I buy a disc, I expect a disc. If I don't get the disc, then I'm gonna be pretty upset. So it's just like those types of things that when you're talking with those deals, it can get nervy, because you kind of like start to doubt yourself, sometimes, at least me.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
I think my fear in something like that is just feeling like I'm taking advantage of someone. And I think the fact that I'm like self-aware about it means that you're obviously not. It's just like you're saying, or like I mentioned before, kind of creating these barriers for yourself that you're like anxiety, like what about this? Oh, what if they think this? But then you ask, like we talked about this a couple weeks ago, Ben. You just shoot your shot, and then you'll be surprised how many cool things it leads to.
Yeah, like
Yeah, you're never gonna get a yes if you don't ask the question in the
Correct.
first place.
yeah,
Exactly.
So
and I've had this talk with myself so many times. Like sometimes, like I get imposter shit. Like you've seen me at my worst, Sajko. I remember specifically around that buff where I was just like doubting everything I've ever done in my life. But
Yeah.
through these moments, I've realized it's always intention. Like, yes, business can be slimy. Yes, business can be sleazy, but you don't have to make it that way. You just like it's your intention. If you're like doing discs because you're like, oh, I'm gonna make so much money and I'm gonna mark these up.
First of all, that's the worst thought process to have ever.
what was that?
I don't know. If you're just making, then obviously like, yeah, but if you're just like I'm selling this because I think they're super cool and it'd be awesome if people supported me in my journey. There's just like, it's always in business, it's the intention. Obviously in business you have to make money to survive, but it's the matter of how much money means to you, and if you would put it over relationships. Like there's been times where I've decided to, or there's been times where I just like, either pay someone what they're asking them and not haggling, or times where I don't elect to make money on a certain thing. It's just because sometimes it just doesn't feel right. It's just like you just want to treat everyone. I'd rather keep a solid relationship than make $100 off someone's back because of doing something. I don't know. That's never happened to me, but I'm just saying like, it's just intention. Intention is a big thing in business.
Yeah, it's definitely a me thing. Like it's I mean, the way that I am, pulling back the curtain, I'm like a very frugal person. So I'm like very particular with like money and things that I do. Like, well, I enjoy cooking, but I like to make a lot of my meals at home, stuff like that. Just like ways to cut costs. So I always feel weird feeling like I'm taking money from people, but it's just the wrong way to think about it.
Correct.
Because like I've just been growing up working for like organizations that like the money is coming from somewhere. Sure, I guess it's like coming from people, but you get where I'm coming from. I don't want to feel like I'm taking from someone, but that's just a ridiculous mindset to have.
Yeah, no, but I 100% get the mindset that you have, 100%. But it's like if it wasn't for business, you wouldn't be with another round working for them doing what you love. You know what I'm saying? It's just like,
yeah, exactly.
It's like there's people, and people need these things. That's why it doesn't feel weird. Is because if it's something like a disc, yeah, obviously your tour series disc, it's more like that's why it's called tour series. It's more of like a supporting, like, hey, like, you're awesome, Sajko. Like, I want to support you. And that's a big part of it. And then there's another side of just like needs, where people literally, like gas stations, you need a gas station to survive life. And that's why when you're spending money at a gas station, you're happy because you need gas. And like, you're not be like, oh, this guy's screwing me over, I gotta pay for gas. So there's like, there's always things like that.
Yeah, I think it's definitely just like an exposure sort of thing. Like, I'm not afraid of it. It's just kind of learning as I go sort of deal.
You're very humble, and you're very, very cautious. I guess you kind of like dip your toe in and kind of like be like, and then make sure like everyone's like cool. Which I do the same thing. You know, I always want to make sure people are comfortable and whatever. And before I commit to anything or like ask enough questions to be like what. So.
Yeah, I don't know if I said this on the show before, but someone that I talked to that I won't mention, that is like a bigger person, they told me, they were like, if I could give you any sort of advice, they said, is for you to be more assertive, which is something that I definitely struggle with, because like I said, I don't want to feel like I'm stepping on toes. But they're like, just say what you want, you don't have to please everyone. And I was like, yeah, you get it.
There's both sides for that. There's both. There's a double-sided coin to that. It's like, obviously you want to say what you want, but you also don't want to just like burn bridges, as we've talked about before.
No, but that's it depends who you're saying that to. Like, that's coming towards me, someone that is like on one complete polar opposite of the spectrum. So I think saying that will steer me in the correct direction. But yeah, of course, like, if you say that to, not going to mention any names, I could definitely see someone going way too far with that.
Yeah, there's going to be... Oh, hello.
Ooh.
There's a happy medium with everything. When to kind of talk about myself, because I'm conceited. No.
I kind of hate you.
When I first stepped into making content in the sport, I had a big feeling of like, I guess you could call it imposter syndrome. Like, I just wasn't confident in my opinions and the things I wanted, and anyone could come to me and I would be like, wow, you are the best in the world, and I will do whatever you ask me if you send me a disc, and like, I had no opinions. I had no understanding of anything. And as time has gone on, I've started formulating opinions, and that has been where my confidence to like talk about these things has come from. Like, I feel like I felt like you do now, Sajko. Like, I was very hesitant to voice what I'm feeling, but just through practice and through understanding what I want, like, I know what I want now, and I'm not gonna dance around it. Like,
yeah,
if someone's giving me a bad deal, I'm not gonna do the deal, or
right.
like something like things along those lines had to be formulated for me based on my experience in the sport, making content, doing disc golf stuff, and now I have a lot of strong opinions on things. But I'm hopefully I don't go too far, I guess. I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and in terms of content, I don't give a singular crud what anyone thinks. Like that, I'm very confident in that sense, but in terms of like professionalism and behind the scenes stuff, that's more so, yeah, like what we're talking about, like kind of the business stuff, or there's definitely like yeah, whatever. We don't have to keep harping on it.
Well, yeah. Sorry. Kind of to go off of that, I would say that what I said works in its entirety. Like, as I learn more about content, I kind of also learned about the back end business stuff as well.
Right.
Getting to be sponsored, having a bunch of companies reach out to me all the time and say, hey, you should be sponsored by us. Okay, what does that mean? Oh, we'll give you 15% off of our discs.
Yeah, affiliate links and stuff
okay,
like that.
well, that's not being sponsored. You're just giving me a discount that you could probably give to anyone. I'm not doing that. That's not worth my time.
Mhm.
And like understanding what is a good deal and a bad deal is where I found my confidence, And maybe it's the same thing for you.
And
but
I think it's cool as we advance in this sport. Yeah, our different deals start to get like, it's kind of just cool to see how we grow. Where like I was that player where it was just like, oh, this is sick, 15% off. I get to be a part of the team, and now it's like, fortunately now like I have a little more, what is it, value?
Pull.
Yeah, pull. Yeah, where I can be like, here's what I can give you, and then maybe you can give me stuff like that. So I think that's also super cool just to see in our growth. I mean, dude, like Jay Millie, you with the whole Vessi sponsorship, like them flying you out, how cool is that to like kind of be that valuable to a company? To like, I'm guessing you didn't lose any money going there. In fact, you probably made money. So that's probably a super cool thing to be a part of, like a paid vacation.
Yeah, definitely. And for me, it just boils down to, is it worth my time? Like
Yeah.
I've slowly realized that almost anything that comes my way, any opportunity, the first hoop I make it jump through is, would I rather do something else than this? And if I would rather do something else, is whatever they're offering me enough money or opportunity or whatever to outweigh what I'd rather do? Because if you look at my videos that I have planned, I have 25 videos scripted and ready to be run with. But Vessi came to me and was like, hey, we'll send you on this awesome once in a lifetime trip where you get to watch Gannon Burr beat Ricky after being down 6 strokes. And I was like, well, heck yeah, dude. Like, I would rather do that than make these videos right now, but like,
and you made videos there. I mean,
and I made,
that's where
I made
opportunity,
those videos as well.
that's where opportunity comes into play. It's like, that's what I'm always thinking about. Everything I say yes to is because it's an opportunity. Like I don't know if I'd said no to any opportunity. Like I used to work for the Pro Tour. You guys probably didn't know that.
No.
I used to work for the Pro Tour, producing a show kind of like this, where I was on the back end, switching up the buttons, setting up the assets, stuff like that. And I said yes to it, and it was awesome. But at the Pro Tour went a different way. They didn't decide to renew the really any show. I don't think it was any off-season show. Really, they did a few different ones, so they didn't continue with ours. But through that, I realized like, okay, yeah, like I didn't really enjoy that much, but I'm glad I at least put my head in the ring or hand in the ring to try it out, because who knows, maybe that was my passion, and I could have gotten like eventually done like CBS kind of like live producing of her shows and stuff like that.
Well, you always got to remember as well, every yes is a no to something else. So like in that situation, the yes is, I want to figure out what's going on. But maybe there's a world where you already got something going on. They offer you to do that. And it's like, okay, I say yes to this, but I'm saying no to what was already happening.
Yeah.
So you gotta be very cautious the value you put on certain things. Cause like also, just speaking to a random amateur who might be listening,
like say some major brand comes to you and says, "Hey, we'll sponsor you." You're like, "Heck yeah." They give you 15% off and you're like, "Well, I throw your disc anyway. Heck yeah, I'll take 15% off and be on the team." Sometimes those are like a year contract or something like that. And say you start blowing up, but you're locked into this year contract with a pretty deal. Like you're saying, you could end up saying no to a bunch of other companies that reach out with better stuff because you said yes and, didn't plan well or didn't, prepare yourself
Dude, like
for the future.
like Sajko, Lone Star Ranger team, said yes. He was locked up for life.
Locked up for
No, I'm
life.
just kidding.
Yeah, that was
You were on
definitely an
Lone Star?
aspect.
He
Yeah, that
at
was
one
definitely an
point.
aspect of my life. And then I did it for like a month, and I was like, hold on, this is definitely a pyramid scheme. They're just
Yes.
making money off of all of these people buying their discs.
Which, by the way, it was a smart business idea. They hear me out. Smart business idea. Every pretty
Is
much.
it ethical?
No, they did accepted way too many people. Cool if it's like 200, 300 people in like a community where it makes sense, but they accepted like 2,000. Well, like it's a good business idea because yeah, you're on the team and you had like you get a discount, and I mean I feel like not every brand does it, but I think they just accepted too many people.
I think
in
it was.
my
I
opinion.
think it was smart because everyone was talking about Lone Star, and every rec player felt like they were involved in something. Which, whatever community you're a part of, you want to feel like you're in something. But for everyone that was really enjoying it, eventually it got to the point where they couldn't, like you're saying, Ben, they couldn't actually provide for all of these players. So it kind of bit them in the end, and I think that's why you
Yeah.
see Lone Star struggling right now, amongst other personal issues with like players and whatnot. But
So yeah, I guess I don't know I don't know the full Lone Star contract. I didn't know if you had the bag full Lone Star or anything like that. But I think I think just that sense of community being a part of that. If they limited that and be like you are like Disc Golf 978 does it great, where it's like a tight knit community. You get a discount code. You're part of a team, and you apply, and people get rejected, and then it's like kind of like this close, tight knit group, and you're like proud to be sponsored by them and be a part of it. That's what I'm saying. I think when it starts to get to like, even when your dog applies, you get in. That's when it's like, okay, that's starting to get into a little like, money grab territory.
yeah,
I,
I feel bad for that dog. Like, think about Ajax, the dog at USDGC. I'm like, dude, he's too good for hitting the Ranger team. Ajax to the moon.
So true. I think I agree. My only take on it though is I think it boils down to the motive behind it, and I think it's very apparent that Lone Star just wanted money. They just wanted a bunch of people to buy their discs at a discounted rate, which I'm sure they're still making a lot of money off of. Like the idea, like Ben says, on a smaller scope with a better motive behind it, I think is a good
Yeah, motive. That's what we've been
business
talking about. Just
model.
motive
Yeah.
is everything. That's just like it's intention, and that's at the end of the day when I get in my head on like bruh, like this is crazy, all this money that I'm trying to make, but like at the end of the day, yeah, it's intention. Like I do the expos because yes, I need to provide for myself and my family, but also I'm giving such an amazing thing to the community, which like is something I need to like remind myself more of that, like why I do it. And sometimes you can get just so caught up through the stress and be like oh my goodness, like this is just way too much.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. There were some discs there that are cool, but the idea of scalping the people that are essentially looking up to you and wanting to like be a part of your community just does not jive well with me, and obviously not very many other people. If like, when's the last time you heard about Lone Star? Like when Chandler Kramer, like that whole thing?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, they didn't make I mean, yeah, I like the guys over at Lone Star. They're awesome, but yeah, I mean, they didn't make the greatest business moves, I guess, publicly. I guess they could have handled things just a little better, especially with the whole dropping and stuff like that. But hey, who knows? Maybe they can turn it around. I mean,
Yeah.
there's been plenty of companies that have done that, and disc golf's, I mean, they're one of the main only in-house manufacturers still in disc golf. So if they really want to, get back to it, they could. They have an opportunity because they are manufactured in-house, which not
It's kind of crazy.
a lot of people do.
Discraft and MVP don't? Innova?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm saying, like, yeah, so we can list them off. Discraft, MVP, Innova.
Trash Panda.
Gateway.
Trash Panda is a good one. Gateway. Lone Star.
Yeah, I'm blanking beyond that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's only like 7 or 8
there's a reason why they're
actual like in-house manufacturers. The rest are made by other companies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I thought you were implying that some of the main ones moved away from it. I'm seeing what you're saying now, though.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying they have an opportunity, especially since they are in-house, to really like kind of revitalize and Clash. That's what we're missing.
House of Discs?
Made in the U.S.
House of Discs. I'm talking manufacturers in general. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. House of Discs is another good one. So all of them under there, but that's also kind of all those brands are made by. Well, now it's House of Discs, but were made by at one point. Like Discmania was Innova, and now it was and then it became Latitude. So all those brands now are made by the Latitude people under. Now it's called just House of Discs.
Yeah, weird. All right, we'll move on from this rambling session that we've just had. Essentially, the reason we started talking about that, I don't even think we ended up mentioning this, was my friend Anderson. Shout out Anderson. Mentioned to us or I guess me, that we really need to lean into the unique aspects that we each have. Sajko and I, being content creators, been a little bit content, but more so expo guy. That's obviously the stuff we're most passionate about, the things we're pursuing, the things we love talking about and have the most fun talking about. And he said that we should really lean into those things. And so we're going to make Ben, the expo daddy himself, start talking about the expos more.
I'll try.
Genuinely, just me as a homie of Ben and a Funsie co-host, I'm interested in what's going on with the expos. I think it's a very unique thing in the disc golf space. And so it's just interesting to know about what's going on.
Well, that's exactly what I was saying. Like me living the life
and free publicity for you.
Yeah, I hear that doesn't matter. Me being like the expo guy, the expo owner, and kind of living that day-to-day life. That's what I was saying earlier when sometimes I need to take a step back and realize like I'm doing something awesome, and I gotta keep reminding myself that for those days where it's like it gets tough and stressful, that this is something disc golf needed for a while, and that I'm honored to be the one doing it. And so.
But you're saying that these days are stressful, and I'm sure that they are, but what happens in those days? Because there is definitely a lot of secrecy, so things that you're doing that maybe you take for granted on a day-to-day basis, I have no idea what you're up to. I'm sure you're contacting companies and whatnot, but what goes into it?
Yeah, I'm interested. What's the day of a expo daddy?
1, nothing's guaranteed. 2,
okay.
2.
What does that mean?
Yeah, that's incredibly vague.
If if no one shows up to the expo, 1, no one's guaranteed to show up. 2, there's no guarantee that vendors are even going to apply. This whole thing's contingent on them. 2, it's a lot of money to fork up at first.
Yeah, high overhead.
Yeah, because like these hotels, I have to pay these hotels before the expo even starts. So, and there's a lot of stuff like that. And then yeah, just like the things you just don't think about, just like my day to day life. Like today, I'll give you an example. Marshall Street, they, along with Paragon, Paragon presents Disc East and Disc South, and it's weighed by Marshall Street. So they're both title sponsors. Today, I was at Marshall Street all day filming a commercial for them as kind of like a thank you
That's
for
cool.
sponsoring the expo. So then I edited that whole thing, and so that was my day today. And then tomorrow, it'd be like this week, I want to reach out to more companies. So I would just sit down on my computer and just email people. And then another day,
Lots of cold calling.
Fortunately, it's not as cold anymore.
Mm.
It's like warm calling because most people have heard of the expo, which is incredible.
Yeah,
But
that's
at
awesome.
first it was like,
Brutal.
bruh, like yeah, it's like everyone's like, why would we go to this? And then the people that did show up, that did believe in me, that's why they mean so much to me. Like, you know, the 978s, the Marshall Streets, the MVP, the Thought Space Athletics. Just
Even a
trying
couple things that you've already shared, Ben. I had no idea what you're up to, and those are cool things. So, are you like just very well? We know based on us dropping you off at that Dunkin' Donuts at USGC that you're a very secretive person. But these are like cool things that even just me hearing that, being your buddy, I'm sure like listeners would find that interesting.
I've thought about, so I want to hire someone to follow me when the expo is happening, how I run Disc East. I wanted to do that. But I've thought about like documenting the process of just like, you know, today, like there's been times last year I got Innova to vend. I'm like, yeah. You know, I just get off the phone with the guy. I'm like, yeah. And, you know, I'm freaking out. This is huge. Like same any of the major like Discraft. I get Discraft says they're gonna drop their Kratos at my expo. Yeah, they say Paul Macbeth is gonna be here. Stuff like that. This happens all the time, and I've always thought about like, should I be documenting like how I feel in the moment? So I've always thought about
yes,
that.
Dude. Start hyping it up on here, man. I mean, genuinely, as long as those brands don't care that you were like releasing it early, start hyping it, man. Like the idea of today you get Discraft to commit and you come on here and say Discraft just committed.
Oh yeah, no, once they commit, yeah.
As your homies, we're like, that's hype. But honestly, as a listener, I would also be like, oh, sick. Now I extra want to go to this expo. You know?
Yeah,
right.
That's not a bad idea.
It just helps like in reflection where you're like, okay, cool, I got that done, moving on. And then like you mention it to us.
Yeah.
I mean, and you see our reaction, and then you're like, hold up, that was a big deal.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I've had this,
and it also brings like our listeners into the community aspect that you would want out of this expo. Like when they show up, they don't understand the work that you probably put in to get these 15, 50, however many vendors you have. They just see all these vendors. But if you're going to start talking about on here and be like, oh, we just got Innova to commit, we just got Discraft to commit, then when they see Discraft or Innova at the expo, it's like, dude,
like my man did that.
Ben figured that out. You know, that is Ben's a one-man army. You know,
yeah.
So you got to start hyping it up. I'm sure it'll give you more confidence in yourself, and I think it'd be a really fun thing for us to talk about.
No,
people want to root for you.
Yeah, I definitely need it. Like I said, so me and Jesse from Trash Band are similar in this way. The first expo when he came, he was like, dude, this is all. He kept hyping me up. And then like it was awesome, but it, like Sajko just said, it's always okay. What next? It's like I never give myself, because you can't like just like rest on your laurels. It's like, okay, now I have to like after last year's Disc East was called Northeast Disc Golf Expo. It's like, yeah, I could celebrate, but now it's like I have to top this and do it better and stuff like that. So I think that's
where this
something.
Podcast comes into play.
Yeah,
it's always like self-reflection. That's why we always get so deep on this podcast, because then you half the time you guys will ask about like each other's week, and then I don't know about you, but for me, I'm always like, what did I do? I have no idea. And then we start reflecting, talking about stuff. We gas each other up a little bit or call each other out, whatever, and it's just good friend
Yeah.
talk.
Dude, I agree. I will say, Ben, I agree that we need to have like after you accomplish Northeast Disc Golf Expo, now Disc East, it's like, yeah, what's next? How do I top this? Oh, let's do a Disc South. And next year, let's do a disc
Correct.
west
and
a
it's
disc
like
north.
the stress comes back again, like I'm the
Yes.
first year again.
Disc Finland.
Oh, disc Europe.
Crazy.
I agree. Like, I think having like motivation to continue to challenge yourself and continue to grow. And maybe this isn't what you're saying, but something I've had to really work on for myself is being content in the grind for it, and being content in the journey, not the destination, because it is so common to finish a really good YouTube video or finish a disc expo or finish whatever and being like, wow, that really didn't meet the contentment that I was thinking I wanted from this, and so we have to be better about, or maybe just me, maybe I'm talking to myself, but just being very pleased with ourselves in the, like we're mentioning, the little wins that are, I got Discraft, I edited a short today, or just, enjoying the journey and not focusing on the destination.
Well,
so our lives are more content and more enjoyable.
Yeah. So I am definitely 100% so thrilled about what happened last expo. I was definitely content, and it was incredible. Like, and that's what I'm saying. It's just hard to like bottle that emotion you feel, and then think about it 5 months later. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like,
that's true.
It's just hard to like get that feeling back, and that's why I need to take a step back, sometimes, and be like, okay, like, I'm so great. Sometimes I do. I just like look in the sky. I'm like, dude, like, what is my life right now? Like, this is the cool, like, and I thank everyone, like, thank you so much. And I started to, but I need to do it to just remind myself every once in a while, because like one thing about like, I am content in the grind and I need to work hard. But the thing, stress thing of the expo is, like, I can be content with Discraft came or has committed, or whoever commits, but I have to kill the expo for them, like crush it, and then I can, because I mean, what the expo is, they're paying me money to in exchange for I bring them attendees to buy their product or get more exposure and stuff like that. So that's another super stressful thing. It's like everyone at that expo is paying me money, and I have to accommodate in.
You're making a promise, and
I need to accommodate and make everyone happy. Like every single vendor, no matter if it's the big guy to the small, like I have to, and that's just like a huge kind of like stressor. Like last year, it wasn't all roses. Some vendors were during the expo complained, and and we got through it, and it was great once the expo actually happened, because there was like 500 people in line and no one really cared at that point. But it's just like that balance of just like, you're not going to make everyone happy, but I also have to make everyone happy. It's kind of just like that part it's just like really tough in this business.
What kind of a person are you when customers come into the store? Are you the kind of person that you're just like, oh, hi, how's it going? How can I help you? Or are you just kind of like, how's it going? Like keep themselves, or?
So when I at the tackle store, I'm the type of person that's like, hey, how are you? This is what I do. Hey, how's it going? Anything you're looking for? And normally, like 99% of fishermen for some reason say, oh, I'm just poking around. They say poking for some reason. And then I'm like, yeah, no worries. If you need anything, let me know.
No, that's good. That's safe.
Yeah, I don't like, and my dad is, I know he's more involved with like asking questions. I'm like, like, oh, like, what are you fishing for? So, what are you looking for? So he's more like, kind of more interacts with the customer. So yeah, we just kind of have few different styles. I guess my style is just more like, I personally enjoy when I shop to be left alone unless I have a question.
Well, that's why I'm asking, because I also like that. I recall going to Zoomies growing up, and they would try so hard every single time that you would go in there to be like, yo, team, what is up, dude? Yo, those vans are the sickest vans I've ever seen in my life. And then you're like,
and use my name.
Yeah, well, the first time you're like, oh, dude, like, I think we're boys now. But then I recall one time, had a big phase going to Goodwill all the time, buying my clothes in high school. I bought the ugliest things of all time, but they were cool to me. And I had this like parka on, and I went in there, and I know this is when I was like, okay, this is definitely part of their like marketing, whatnot. And they were like, that's so sick, dude. I was like, you're lying. you're definitely lying right now.
So I worked for Vans for a month. Actually, the reason I'm on the Nick and Matt show is because I worked for Vans, sort of, or Stagger Stance now.
Because you worked for Vans?
Did I? I think I already.
Yeah, you talked about that, but I didn't know it was because you worked at Vans.
It wasn't really. It's because the Vans store was 45 minutes away, and that's when I started listening to Nick and Matt. Or at the time, Nick and Matt
that's
show.
why. Okay.
So
I thought they were like, oh, you're good at selling shoes? Hop on that pod.
No. Because, I don't know if I would have heard that line where Matt said, oh, we need someone to help us out on the podcast if I wasn't traveling, commuting. But yeah, literally, it's so that's the side of business that I don't enjoy. Like the Vans, like, where it's so like, it's not cutthroat, but it's like
pushing product on
people. It's like, oh, like you have to meet this goal, and then you get employee of the month if you're better than this, and then they post like every month like everyone's sales, and you have to make sure like the customer tells your name, who helped you out, and stuff like that. And it's like it's kind of like it's like where the business gets a little like sleazy-esque, where it's just like you're just selling just so your numbers can go up as an employee. So it's like,
I get as like a person, it can feel sometimes like everyone has their hand in your pocket. Like I get that. So I'm always like, oh man, I don't want to. But yeah, we're not going to rehash that. But yeah, Ben, point being, I think it's definitely you should share more about that for sure. Because
I will.
I didn't know a lot of those things that you just talked about, and I think it was pretty cool. Like even talking about like the Marshall Street commercial stuff, and that's all cool things going on.
That's another thing I wanted to mention is like one thing people don't realize is one small little thing could take my whole day. Like the other day, yesterday, like it took me like 3 hours just to like position one to so Marshall Street, their logo, it says Marshall Street and We Weigh Every Disc. So I had to, and the We Weigh Every Disc was a little too small because it's going to be on the flyer where it says weighed by. So I had to like kind of design their logo and make the We Weigh Every Disc under the Marshall Street a little bigger. And then I was working on configuring. It didn't take 3 hours, but it took like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that was my next question.
It at least took like an hour and a half, and then I had to position it on the flyer, It's like these little things that you don't expect to take this long. It like takes so long where it's just like, or like, setting up the Eventbrite where it's just like, oh, what about this? Or what, stuff like that where it's kind of, I guess that means I care obviously, or I'm just like obsessive, but over these little things. But yeah, it's just like, I want to get the best product. And I realize I'm 25 years old and I'm not like this world-renowned business. I'm not the smartest person, and I'm not nowhere near as just like wise in business as I will be when I'm 40. But I'm just like trying my best, and I think hopefully people realize that. Like, yes, I am young, and putting on a show to this scale somehow blows my mind. But it's just I'm just trying my best, and it'll only get better. So.
Sick. Did you have any other points, Mr. Millie?
I had a bunch of other stuff for us to talk about, but we are quite deep into this episode, so we can
ramble.
Save that for later.
Well, it's good.
Well,
It's good. We
dang.
need off-season topics. I mean, you guys are going to soon realize how much of a struggle. I mean, I guess we don't really talk about the Pro Tour as much as Stagger Stance, but sometimes it does get barren.
No, I have an entire list
Underestimated.
of different episodes that we'll be able to
You
focus on.
underestimate our yap ability, dude.
Also,
True.
we're content creators. We have ideas. We're
content
creative.
creators. Of course we're going to take a selfie.
All right, let's wrap this puppy up. I made a steak an hour, 40
It's been
minutes
resting,
ago.
bro. It's been
Oh,
resting.
it's going to be crazy. I cannot wait.
Yo, I just want to say
Amazing.
I love you boys. This has been I'm glad we got this podcast together. And I know I was late today, but I appreciate you both, and yeah, I'm excited to see where this pod gets us, and hopefully we can keep growing. And I appreciate you take this time out of your day to record.
Yeah, and
Y'all,
the listeners
we
that take time out of
appreciate-
their day.
Yeah, same to the listeners.
Yes,
Facts.
because eventually we want to make money off this, so please keep listening. That's why we're doing it. No, obviously that's not why we're doing it. We haven't made a dime. In fact, we're in the hole on this podcast. So if you do enjoy
Facts.
it, leave
Yeah,
a
that's true.
review, and hopefully one day we'll make money. But we're gonna keep doing it regardless.
Mm-hmm. Sick. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thanks everyone for watching or listening or whatever. This has been Funsie.
Yeah, I'm going to go eat my steak. Wrap this thing up.